In today's short video, we'll be taking a look at the Acumatica product configurator. And I'll start with an example before we actually talk about the setup and how we create some of the rules that get applied to that product configurator. But let's go straight to an example first, and I'll use a sales order today. This can also be done from a quote within Acumatica, but I will select the customer in question, and then I will add a line item to this particular sales order. Now, I'll use an example today with a baseball bat. And using the product configurator, we will start to apply features and options. We will start to create a price for the line item. And ultimately, we are starting to tell the shop floor and the production team how they are going to build this finished good for the customer. So let's drop our workspaces off to give us a bit more room. And as I do that, you will see that I have this configure button right here on my toolbar. So I'll select the configure button, and this takes me into my configuration entry screen. And over on the left-hand side, you will see the features, or I like to think of those as the questions that we are asking about the good or the product. And then here I have my options, or the answers to those questions. So the first thing it is asking us what we want to do is apply a handle color for the baseball bat. So would you like a natural handle, black, red, etc.? And you can see not only can I select each one of the options that I would like, but it's also giving us the exact quantity and unit of measure that the production team or shop floor needs to pull for this bill of materials, which is helping us keep our inventory accurate, and it's also helping us with our costing for this job as well. So then I go through and I continue to apply the different features and options that it's asking for. So here it wants to know what type of body color do you want for your baseball bat, and I can select whichever color I would like from the list. Notice as I select the option, it is also continuously doing a pricing roll-up. So as we select the option on the line, it is telling us what the associated price is going to be. Now, there is also a rules-based aspect associated with this. So for those of you that are familiar with a rules-based configurator, that means you can determine based on the features and options that are being selected, what options will appear as the next available from the list. So let me give you an example. In our baseball bat today, we have selected that we want the actual body color of the baseball bat, the paint on that baseball bat, to be black. So when we get to the engraving section, we're actually going to be applying lettering to the baseball bat. You can see that black is not an option on that list because the rule that we have applied to this particular configuration says that anytime we have a body color for the bat, you cannot apply the same color engraving to that because you wouldn't be able to read it. So in this example, we cannot select black lettering because we have already selected a black paint for the actual body. Okay, makes sense? Now this can work in other ways. We can also do include rules. This example happens to be an exclude rule. We excluded black from the lettering, but it does work with include rules as well. So just another thing to keep in mind. And then finally, I'll select the last option here, which is the wood that we're going to use for this particular bat. So we have our pricing all completed here, which we will see added to the line in a moment. Notice that you can have additional attributes that are required for the salesperson or engineer to enter as well. So in this example, it wants to know the particular bat length, and it has to be between 30 and 35 inches. We have 32 inches today. And then is it going to be an express option, yes or no? Just another example of the types of attributes that the salesperson or engineer can apply at the time of the sales order or quote. So we will finish up with our configuration. You can see we get all of the green check marks here, which means we are good to go. And it will drop that new price from the configuration right onto the line item. So now we've completed the actual configuration. And what I can do is go out and now generate the work order associated with this. you see it's already marked for production. So now I can create the production order or the work order for our baseball bat, and we will have all of those different features and options from the configurator itself now applied to the bill of materials and production order for this item. Now, one important thing to note, please notice that it does not create an entirely new SKU number or part ID. It does not create an entirely brand new bill of materials. What it has done is it's created a specific bill of materials for this specific order. So we're not needing to create many different part IDs and unnecessary bills in the system. We're doing it on a case-by-case basis as we configure, and we can reuse those if we want to. So this is something we can always have a deeper discussion about at a later time, but I just wanted to make that comment today. Now here on the production order for our baseball bat, a lot to talk about here, which is a little bit outside of the scope of our demo today as far as production and manufacturing is concerned, but just note that the source of our production order is now that configuration. I can go into the details of the configuration itself to see all that information, or I could also go into the production ticket here if I would like to see how those features and options have now appeared for the shop floor to do their work and go out and build this for the customer. So in this example, you can see the job traveler with all of the different operations, instructions, and now here is the options that we have selected. There's our maple wood. There is the actual paint that we have applied during the painting and staining operation. If I go to the next page, you'll see that natural stain for the, what was that, our handle, and then the black paint for the body itself. Okay, we also had the blue paint when we came down to the engraving. So feeding all of that from the configurator straight through to production. And of course, we can also go through the process of collecting all of the shop floor data information. Here is going to be our job costs now associated with this production order. Here we have everything planned based on that bill, and then we go through and actually do the work via our shop floor data collection or just via some simple backflushing depending on your preferences. Now to wrap up the demo today, I'll quickly take you into the configuration maintenance screen. This is where we actually set up all of those different rules that you saw or the backend settings for the configurator itself. So here you can see for the baseball bat, this is where we associated it with a specific bill of materials. So the bill of materials is where we would actually have the routing and the operations. So which steps are we going to go through to create this? And then the configurator is where we can drop in the different parts or options associated with that routing. Here is where you define your features. For example, you can see that's where we have our handle color, and associated then at the bottom with that feature is the different options. So for the handle color, there's the natural, the black, etc., the amount that is required based on what we're building. So we need 25 gallons of this paint anytime we create one of these handles. And then as I scroll through the different features here, when I come down to the body color, there's the associated options with the body color. And this is where you apply your rules. So for our example earlier with the bat engraving and the body color, we were saying that anytime we had a black body on the particular baseball bat in question, we would not be able to apply black lettering. So you see the exclude rule set up here. Again, there's lots more that can be discussed as far as the attributes and dimensions against this. There is a dimensional aspect to the product configurator. So if I come down to the wood, for example, you can see that we're actually saying to come up with the quantity required for the wood on the bat, we're going to take the length and we're going to add 1 inch. So whatever the salesperson or engineer enters at the time of the sale for that length, you remember it was 32 in our example, we're going to add 1 inch to actually come up with the quantity required. So that's a pretty simple dimensional example, but we can get a lot more complex with that as well. I think there might be one good example in here that gets pretty complex. You can see that formula there. So please let us know if you are interested in Acumatica's product configurator here at Synergy. We would be happy to spend more of a one-on-one session with you going through this. I am sharing my contact information up on the screen now. That's Jessica Gadboys, jgadboys@synergyresources.net. Please feel free to reach out to me directly or on our website at synergyresources.net, and we'll spend some time with you directly on the Acumatica product configurator.